Now, one of the world's oldest mountain ranges, the Aravalli Hills, is at the center of a growing political and an environmental storm in India. The Supreme Court of India has approved a change in how these hills will be officially defined. And this has now triggered a lot of confusion, ecological concerns and widespread protests. My colleague Shivan Chanana gets you the details.
The new definition of the Aravalli Hills, which has been approved by India's Supreme Court in November just last month, it classifies only landforms rising 100 meters or more above local relief, along with their slopes and adjoining areas, as part of the Aravalli range. Anything that is not 100 meters will not be considered the Aravallis. Now, if two such hills that are just defined, if they are within 500 meters of each other, the intervening land, that is basically the land between, will also be treated as part of the Aravalli range. There, that height does not matter as long as it is adjoining two hills of that definition within a 500-meter range. The formula accepted by the Supreme Court was recommended by the central government, and it relies on a classification that was attributed to geologist Richard Murphy, given decades ago. Now, there was another formulation which was on the table, and this was proposed by the Forest Survey of India, FSI. It has proposed that landforms above a state's local elevation and with a slope of at least 3 degrees would be considered part of the Aravallis. Environmentalists claim that it would have covered a much larger area. The difference between these two formulae is the point of reference for measuring the bases. A local relief refers to the lowest point in the immediate surroundings of a hill. On the other hand, local elevation refers to a state's lowest point in relation to sea level. So for Rajasthan, the level is 115 meters. Those protesting this definition claim that the FSI formula would cover over 40,000 square kilometers in 15 districts of Rajasthan, but the 100-meter definition would exclude nearly 99% of the hills. So the government claims the new definition will actually bring more than 90% of the Aravalli region under protected area. Now, there are also concerns that setting elevation as the criteria for protection would exclude lower hills and hillocks from legal protection, opening it all up for mining. That is the charge, and that leads to the controversy. But Union Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav gave an interview, and there he clarified that the area between hills, including the base and the surroundings, they are all covered under the formula. Allegations say that, as per the allegations, the new definition will lead to more mining in the hill, and that is already battered by decades of legal and illegal mining. And of course, more mining means more pollution. Aravallis, for the most part, are considered the lungs of Delhi. Now, the centre has also rejected these claims, saying that mining would be permissible in only 0.19% of Aravalli area. No new mining leases are going to be given without a proper study. But even that is a big number, even that 0.19%, over 273 square kilometers, which is bigger than most tier 2 cities in India. Another concern is the effect of the increased mining on the air quality, which I briefly spoke about just earlier. This is going to affect the national capital region directly, not just Delhi, the entire NCR. In response, Bhupendra Yadav, Environment Minister, pointed out that mining is not allowed in Delhi or neighboring cities. Now, the Supreme Court's directions include absolute bans on mining in core or inviolate areas. Inviolate areas are essentially ecologically sensitive zones, such as protected areas like tiger reserves, eco-sensitive zones, wetlands, plantation sites under the compensatory afforestation fund management and planning authority. No new mining leases anywhere in the Aravalli Hills and ranges will be granted without a management plan for sustainable mining prepared by the Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education. This plan must identify permissible areas only where ecologically justified, assess environmental impacts and carrying capacity, mandate restoration and rehabilitation after mining. And mining may only be permitted after this scientific conservation-centric plan is finalized and a proper study is done.